Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk with me, Sifiso Mahlangu. Tonight I bring you an exclusive interview with the newly elected president of the MKMVA. It's been a few hours after his election. There was no standoff. The deputy minister is here. Mr. Kebby, Maphatsoe, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Sifiso, and the viewers.
My opening question to you is, this is the 25th year of the policy conference of the MKMVA. What resolutions did you come up with that have informed this fifth meeting of the MKMVA?
Look, what happened is that we had the president opening the conference, and the president instructed the conference to come out with resolutions that will assist the African National Congress at the policy conference. But we're also preparing ourselves for the policy conference of the ANC. One of the resolutions that was the priority was the welfare of our former ex-combatants. We have resolved that all government departments must make sure that they implement the Military Veterans Act, and they must assist all military veterans. We are going to be going very strong, aggressively, to make sure that the plight of our ex-combatants is addressed. It can't be business as usual. It's 23 years of our freedom, and we can't be having ex-combatants suffering like this. The other resolutions that we concentrate on, it was on the organizational renewal of the African National Congress. We concentrated on the unity of the African National Congress. And we said all MK comrades, wherever they are, they must play a role in political education of branches of the ANC. Make it their day-to-day program of engaging with also our communities to understand the gains made by the African National Congress. Because the scenario created outside there is that the African National Congress led government has done nothing so far. We also concentrated on the security of our country. And we got a presentation also from the Peace and Stability. Comrade Mahlangu presented there. And MK comrades, with their background, understanding security, we recognize that we think our country is not doing enough in protecting our sovereignty. So we have resolutions that we want to influence the policy conference of the ANC. Others do not need the policy conference, needs to be implemented as soon as possible. We also dealt with the issue of radical economic transformation, which was the main issue at our conference. Everybody was discussing the economic transformation, or this radical economic transformation. We received a presentation from Comrade Gugile Nkwinte. So the resolutions that we are going to implement is how do we change the structure of our economy? Because the structure of economy still reflects pre-colonial days. So if we don't change it now, we'll never change it. And we know that we'll face resistance. So we'll make sure that we give support to the president in implementing this radical economic transformation.
Minister, I've spent 3 days with you understanding the constitution of the MKMVA and understanding all your agenda items that made this conference what it is. I think in the minds of South Africans, there's some confusion between the difference between the MKMVA and what is called the MK Council. Can you clarify that? What is the difference between the MKMVA and the MK Council?
The difference is that MKMVA, it's a constitutional structure of all former members of Umkhonto weSizwe, having fought for our liberation and been disbanded. We then formed this association called MKMVA. The MK National Council Steering Committee, it's a temporary arrangement Our understanding when we met with them, they did say they're not a structure, They are not a parallel structure to the MKMVA, but they had issues related to MKMVA and the ANC. So we have met with them and we're jointly preparing for this conference. Unfortunately, we deadlocked, we could not agree on their proposals. However, the issues that they raised were mainly on welfare, and we said, let us join hands and in addressing the welfare of our comrades.
Does the MK Council represent a certain faction of the ANC?
Look, I cannot say they are representing a certain faction, because to us, they only came with resolutions related to MKMVA, which was the welfare of our ex-combatants. So we mainly concentrated on that resolutions.
Minister, in these 3 days, the term radical economic transformation has really been reinforced. What are you going to do as methods, as MKMVA, to see to the fulfillment of the radical economic transformation policy or radical economic empowerment policies?
You see, what we have observed as MKMVA is that most of our people, when they're elected into position, they forget about the resolutions of the conference. For an example, this one of the radical economic transformation, it was a resolution of Mahlangu. You ask yourself why it is 5 years it has not been implemented. It's because some of our comrades who are deployed in those strategic positions, when they get deployed, they get captured very fast by those big white monopoly capital people again. And therefore, the agenda of radical transformation will never be realized. So we're going to make sure that those resolutions are implemented. Either we'll have to meet with them, if we have to march to their offices in making sure that they implement those radical economic transformation, we'll have to do that. It's high time that our people must see the change. The structure of our economy can be the same. The land issue, again, still monopolized by the white. So we want it to be implemented and to be changed. So it will be interesting to see how our people are going to react to our resolutions.
Minister, you have been elected without opposition for a 3rd term. In your closing remarks today, you said that the MKMVA would stand firmly against white monopoly capital. We do know that there are some of the cadres in the ANC or former ministers in the ANC who say white monopoly capital doesn't exist. How are you going to enforce this fight against white monopoly capital?
Sifiso, you know, it's disturbing to hear your own comrades, some of them from the South African Communist Party, who are supposed to be understanding the issues about the radical economic transformation, speaking a different language. To us, it tells us that some of them, that means they've been captured, because they were supposed to be spearheading this radical economic transformation. But all of a sudden, they are saying there's nothing like white monopoly capital. So it tells you that these are the people who are captured. If they can speak a different language, some of them, their shares will be taken off. So that is why they'll have to speak out against the president. That is why they will be calling for the president to step down.
In your proposal, Deputy Minister, you propose that the elective conference absorb Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma as the president of the ANC, Mr. Didi Mabuza as deputy president, and national chairperson go to Mr. Nathi Mthethwa. Why did you pick these individuals as your top 3?
This is a special resolution that was presented to the conference, and we are respecting the processes of the African National Congress. So we took that special resolution to say, once the ANC processes are opened, we will lobby for the following comrades, which is the President, Comrade Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Her background speaks a lot. She has been long in the African National Congress. She has served in all the structures of the African National Congress. She has served also in the ranks of Umkhonto weSizwe. And one thing that we like, she's a unifier. In 2007, she was proposed on the slate of Comrade Thabo Mbeki as the deputy president. And she did not defy that she stood. But after the elections, she never went to cope or became disgruntled. She remained disciplined and accepted the democratic processes of the ANC. So we like leaders like that who will unify and respect the democratic processes of the ANC. So on the deputy president, we are proposing Comrade Titi Mabuza. Titi Mabuza is also a great comrade. What we like with him, we have observed in Mpumalanga that if we can have him at national leadership, what he has done in Mpumalanga in implementing the resolutions of the conference, you see change in the lives of the people of Mpumalanga. You see change in Mpumalanga, the way it is developing. He is not afraid of taking tough decisions. But he's also a unifier, Comrade Titi. He always speaks about unity. Look how Mpumalanga is united now. All those comrades who were disgruntled, they are back. So these are type of leaders that we want.
Why didn't you propose someone like Matthew Phosa, who has a lot of history in the ANC?
Look, Comrade Matthew Phosa has disappointed us as MKMVA. You can't be a leader of the ANC. You can't be a leader who attacks the African National Congress and wanting to be elected in senior positions. So you will kill this organization. So we never even dreamt about him becoming a leader in the African National Congress.
Because I consider that he's also from Mpumalanga and he's a studied cadre of the movement. I would imagine that he would be a consideration. But Deputy Minister, isn't it ANC tradition that the Deputy President would be a successor? In this case, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa is the Deputy President. Wouldn't it be ANC tradition that in 2017 he would be elected as the ANC President?
There is no tradition like that in the African National Congress. Leaders are elected for 5 years in the African National Congress, and they get re-elected if the branches of the ANC seems that they are the best ones to serve. So in 2007, Comrade Jacob Zuma contested Comrade Thabo Mbeki. So it was not a tradition, because anyone in the ANC has got a right to stand for and be elected in any position. It's not a tradition.
Throughout the ages, the MKMVA has shown itself strong as a veterans group, as a former military group that was trained to protect the sovereignty of this nation and to fight apartheid. But in your closing remarks, you also said that some of the MK veteran members are not in good shape. What measurements are you going to take, President, to make sure that you protect the MKMVA veterans and former struggle soldiers of the movement?
You know, I was speaking with Comrade Lindiwe Zulu. I must say that the NEC of the ANC was also part of the conference, that they've been guiding us from the beginning up to the closure today. What we have resolved on is that we must make sure that the Department of Military Veterans, that has been established to take care of military veterans, does its work immediately. But it also calls upon other departments in government to make sure that the welfare of our comrades is addressed. We are going to prioritize the welfare of our comrades, including them getting health care, housing, but also making sure that they get involved in this radical economic transformation. They must also play a role in the economy of our country.
As I listen to the leaders of MKMVA speak in this weekend, Deputy Minister, they were very vocal of their support towards President Jacob Zuma. They said he was under attack by white monopoly capital, and that was not going to happen in your name. So why this strong force to protect President Jacob Zuma, particularly now in 2017?
It's not the beginning, our beginning, that we're saying we will protect and defend President Jacob Zuma. At our fourth national conference, we did take such a resolution. From 2005, when he was under attack, we stood behind Comrade President Jacob Zuma and will continue defending President Jacob Zuma.
What is your forecast for the 2017 elective conference?
Look, we would like to see a conference which will unify the African National Congress, a conference that will not be highly contested, a conference that will look back at what the ANC has done so far and how to fast-track the resolutions that have been taken at the 53rd National Conference of the African National Congress. So we want this conference not just to be a gathering, but a conference that will say our people lives must change. We must deal with the inequalities, we must deal with poverty, we must deal with unemployment.
Protecting President Jacob Zuma is something that many of the alliance partners have declined doing in the late days of leading up to the elective conference. We've seen COSATU pull away from President Jacob Zuma, and so did the SACP. In fact, COSATU said President Jacob Zuma will not address them. He will not address COSATU rallies and COSATU engagements. What do you think of that statement, Deputy Minister? Because there are alliance partners that have declared that President Jacob Zuma is not welcome at their events.
It's unfortunate that they've taken that stand, and they will live to regret that decision. But I think the ANC will continue engaging the alliance to reconsider that position. Because you see, once you see your alliance structures begin to speak the language of your enemy, then there's something wrong. So we are aware of some of the people that have been captured. And that is why they are now speaking the same language of our enemy. Leaders of the alliance marching alongside of our enemies, regime change people. So we think they have been captured, and there's nothing that we can do now presently unless they come out from themselves to say there's something wrong. But those who are captured, we are not going to allow them to derail our national democratic revolution.
Who are the people that are captured, Deputy Minister?
Look, if you have people that are saying there's no white monopoly capital, when they were taught that there is white monopoly capital, beginning to speak that language, that means they are captured. Your South African Communist Party has been saying that. You have other NEC members like Joel Natitenze coming out that, we must not say white monopoly capital. These are tried and tested cadres of the African National Congress and Umkhonto weSizwe, speaking a different language. That tells you that they have been captured by the big white monopoly capital. It's time that they must plow back because they've been getting their shares. Now this bourgeoisies, they are saying, you people have been giving you money and you are quiet. You don't implement our agenda. So that's why they're coming out openly now saying President Jacob Zuma must step down. President Jacob Zuma must not attend their rally. President Jacob Zuma is not going to be anywhere next to the alliance platforms, sharing platforms with them. So it tells you that these comrades, there's something wrong with them. They are captured. Others unaware, some of them, because I've observed some of them that they don't know what is happening. But those who are in leadership that are saying that, it tells you that they have been captured.
Deputy Minister, how do you respond to those opposition voices that doubt the significance of the MKMVA in today's society? People who are saying, Well, these were trained, they are now military veterans. They trained in the days of apartheid in Angola, but they did not come back and fight any war. What is their significance in today's political situation? How do you respond to that?
It's people who do not understand their history. We wouldn't be seated like this here if MK did not play a role in removing the apartheid regime from power. Those who know our history is that our comrades hit very strategic installations that were highly protected. We hit Sosol. We also hit Pretoria headquarters of the Defence Force. And I don't know what our people are saying. Is that not heavy blows that we inflicted to the apartheid regime? MK played a very important role together with our people in attaining this freedom. Most of our people are enjoying these freedoms because some of our comrades laid down their lives, and we still need to go back and exhume and repatriate their remains back to South Africa and bury them as heroes and heroines who fought for this country.
Is there a necessity for a communist alliance, for a communist organization to exist within the ANC today? Some people say communism died with Chris Hani in this country. Is there still a need, Deputy Minister, for a communist alliance in South Africa?
We still need a communist alliance with the ANC. Because, you know, we were fighting for the National Democratic Revolution. We're in the National Democratic Revolution. And once we implement it correctly, we expect the Communist Party to be able to take us further to socialism. So there's still relevancy of communism in this country.
But you are doubting the sort of communist alliance we have today?
Yes, this one that we have today. Look, they are concentrating too much on the factional battles. They are killing COSATU as we speak today. They are killing their own party. It's not their own party, in fact. It's a party of Moses Kotane. It's a party of the late Krisani. They are destroying it by beginning to be factional and interfering too much in the ANC affairs rather than assisting COSATU to be a strong workers' organization.
Minister of State Security, Mr. David Mahlangu, addressed the MKMVA delegates yesterday and said that it was external forces that wanted to see the removal of President Jacob Zuma, because President Jacob Zuma is the president who has shaken white monopoly capital, he's shaken external and internal investors, and is the only president that has attempted to return the land back to black people. And that is why he is under attack. Are these the reasons that you want to rally behind President Jacob Zuma? Because he has come as a sovereign leader against white supremacy in this country?
Indeed, Comrade Mahlangu is correct. We've made that analysis also as MKMVA a long time ago. It does not start now, the issue of President Jacob Zuma. Start long time ago. They wanted to kill him. They still want to kill him. They want to remove him from power because he is the person. If you can check all the presidents of the ANC, they have never spoken about radical economic transformation. So President Jacob Zuma is speaking about changing the structure of our economy. And obviously you don't expect your big white monopoly capital to accept it like that. They will fight. They will fight very brutal. And we're expecting that we will fight back also as MKMVA in making sure that the economy of our country is handed back to our people. We must enjoy the fruits of this freedom. We can't sit back as if it's business as usual. They are enjoying everything that is here. The minerals of our country are not processed here. Beneficiation. It's not, our people are not benefiting. They take our minerals raw as they are, they take them to their countries. Who is benefiting there is their countries. So in changing this structure, we must make sure that in beneficiation, we create our own companies here that will refine everything that is mined and processed here in South Africa and we export it. And it will create more jobs. That is radical economic transformation. And we want to see the ownership of some of the mines owned by Africans. So that will be a radical shift from your usual business of people having 40 years of contracts. And when it comes to an end, you see an uprising. That is why they are fighting like this, because 40 years is coming to an end, I think, next year or 2019. So they will never rest and sit back to lose millions that they've been making in this country.
Deputy Minister, the constitution of the MKMVA was amended yesterday, and you are no longer addressed as the chairperson of the MKMVA, but you are now called the president of the MKMVA. And in fact, you've been in office now for about 3 hours since you were announced this afternoon. How does the future look for you? What prospects are you looking to achieve in your tenure to come as president of the MKMVA?
Look, my priority as the leader of MKMVA, and I humble myself for being elected again by members of MKMVA, is to make sure that the confidence that they've shown in me, I don't let them down. I must make sure that the welfare of our comrades is addressed. And our comrades have been calling, in fact, in one of the resolutions that it seems as if there is a blur line between the Department of Defense and the Department of Military Veterans, and they have called for a separation of powers. They want a separate ministry that will only concentrate on military veterans. And is that as we go to the policy conference and the national conference, we want a ministry of military veterans. And we are changing it to war veterans, so it must reflect the former freedom fighters who fought for this country.
Minister, we're out of time. I know you've got to go. Thank you for giving me this exclusive. Once more time, congratulations on your re-election.
Thank you, Sifiso, and your viewers. I'm always humble myself.
Okay. And there we have it, South Africa. The Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Mr. Kebby Maphatsoe, re-elected this afternoon for the 3rd time as the president of the MKMVA. Thank you for watching. I am Sifiso Mahlangu, and this was Straight Talk. Channel 405, 7 p.m. every Sunday. Pray for South Africa. Thank you for watching, and good night.